Good evening, grinders. I am here to tell you about a stock that I absolutely love right now. Now, if you are in the Patreon community, you already know, and I've talked about this stock. I have options in this company. I have long-term shares in this company, and is it a company that I love and actually use on a daily basis? And if you are not in our community, make sure you check out All in Society Patreon. It is free to join, and if you want to see our trades real time, it's only $10 per month. But that one stock is DraftKings. I love daily fantasy sports. I love loading up and doing football drafts. And so I did a bunch of best ball drafts. So I don't have to monitor a bunch of my fantasy football teams. So I'm on the platform every single day watching my teams, looking at seeing how they're performing throughout the season. I'm also familiar with the gaming industry, as that's where my bread and butter is. That's where I've spent majority of my life in corporate America. Was working for casinos in the poker department. I worked as a dealer, supervisor, manager, pretty much every hat in the poker community or poker room I've held. So I'm pretty familiar with this industry, with this sector, and DraftKings stock has been hit lately. It is down 34% from its 52-week high of $53.61. Today it closed at $35.37. Yes, you can see here it is down 16% the past 5 days. Past month it is down 26%, and year to date it's actually negative, down about 5%. Well, recently it's not just DraftKings, FanDuel as well, FanDuel and DraftKings are the leaders in the space. And then you have others like BetMGM, ESPN Bet, so on and so forth. But the leaders by far are DraftKings and FanDuel. Well, if you're a Robinhood user, you might be familiar with this. Kalshi and Robinhood partnered together to have prediction markets or event contract betting on sports. So now you can essentially, and walk you guys through this. I can't do it on desktop, unfortunately. But you can now, instead of going on a sportsbook app or platform like a DraftKings or FanDuel, there's this company called Kalshi that allows you to place a wager on events. Most recently, the most past presidential election, you could wager on who you thought was going to win the election, whether it be Trump or Kamala. And that was pretty popular until the NFL season launched, and the amount of event contracts or prediction market wagers has blown estimates out the water. It is very popular. And because of that competition with the sports books, DraftKings, FanDuel's, those stocks have plummeted. As we said, past 5 days alone, DraftKings fell 16%. Well, you can't just naturally assume that these prediction markets are actually taking business from DraftKings or in your FanDuels to the point where it's infecting revenue, profits, and traffic to those sites. Where Kalshi or states where this betting is popular is in Texas and Florida, and those are states that are not regulated and don't have licenses to operate like a DraftKings and FanDuel does in multiple other states. And so, are they really taking business or market share from existing customers in regulated states, or are they just very popular in states like Texas and Florida? So you have to think about that. And then there's a regulatory issue. So DraftKings and FanDuel, they have licenses dictated by the states, whereas these event contracts and the prediction markets, those are managed by the federal level. And now there's a little bit back and forth of really who's in control. Is it the states in control? Is it the federal government control. Because what really popped off is Kalshi has started doing these combo bets, what are very similar to parlays. Well, that is not what you guys were offering, which was those vet contracts, those prediction markets, where it's really peer to peers making the markets move one way or the other. And then the platform like Kalshi takes a fee based on each transaction. Now we're getting into essentially prop bets, which is much like a sports book. Well, you have to have licenses and things of that nature to operate that kind of offering. And so now we're getting sticky. Now we're going to the courts. I believe a judge in Texas denied crypto.com to jump in and start offering these type of wagers, whether it's just the normal event contracts or prediction markets or the combo bets that are much like parlays. So with all this being said, there's not a lot of certainty that Kalshi and prediction market products are actually taking business from DraftKings and FanDuel. And based on our research, we believe this is really overblown, the decline in shares in DraftKings. And this is really an opportunity. This is a buying opportunity. So those of you who like to look at the charts, and mind you, I'm not a big chart guy. I'm not a big technical analysis person, but I just like to look at history. You can see here, historically, the best months, or excuse me, the best quarters for DraftKings are the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Third quarter, the end of the third quarter, which we just closed, football just kicked off, so we had a little bit of betting at the end of the third quarter. And now the fourth quarter, which is where prime NFL season, NBA season is going to be kicking off, right? And then we'll have the NFL playoffs at the end of the fourth quarter as well. So this is prime time for DraftKings stock. And we see here historically, this is basically a year chart, 1 day chart over a year. We can see we're kind of in the same territory we were right before the earnings of last year, where it shot up. And then it came back down and then shot up again when we had those around the time where we saw those fourth quarter reportings. And so we can see right here, we're clearly in a decline, but it looks like we're kind of in that consolidation area. So this might be a good time for you to start picking up shares if you're interested in investing in this company. Again, shares are only $35. So if you're someone who doesn't have a whole lot of money, this might be a company that might pique your interest. It's really easy to follow. And the way I kind of like it is you're essentially almost betting on the underdog with DraftKings when you're watching sports. You just kind of, because the sports books are going to make a lot of money when the favorites lose. So you're kind of watching every game. If you don't have, a favorite team, you're kind of just cheering and sitting back and hoping the underdogs win, because that means more profit, more revenue for the sports book. So I don't kind of look at it that way. I'm a sports fan. I love the product. I think it's the best platform out there. So why not invest in the company that you're probably using and more than likely giving your money to? Invest in the company, sit back, collect your money, and then, have fun placing your bets, your parlays every now and then. But that's our take. Before we go, we always like to do a recap of the market. So today, we call the major indexes our scoreboards. So the S&P 500 hit a brand new high today of 6,750, but closed lower, pretty much even for the day. The NASDAQ also hit a new high today, 22,925, but closed lower today. The Dow hit a new high, 47,049, and closed up 0.5%. And the Russell hit a new high as well, 2,497, and closed just shy of 0.75% higher today. So it looks like the indexes are continuing to make new highs. That's good for the market overall. Some tech companies were hit today, like your Palantir down 7% today. Not necessarily a tech company, but Roblox down 8% today. That's another company you might want to take a look at, especially those of you who have kids. That one, if anywhere around my price target is $120 a share or less. Right now it's at $122. Check that out. And then Robinhood, that's tied into crypto. And then the event contracts we were just talking about. That company today hit a new high of $150.21. Shares closed today up 2%. We're invested in Robinhood. We had Robinhood and then we got rid of it around April when the market was tanking. And we bought some other higher quality companies than what we thought at the time. Unfortunately, we didn't hold on and we saw Robinhood shares skyrocket. But we did get in. We got a decent part of that ride up that it's had today. Robinhood shares this year are up 299%. And I believe they might go higher as long as Bitcoin and crypto keeps going higher. Bitcoin today hit a high of 122,327. Now that's going 24 hours, but looks like that's just been the high in the past 24 hours. So if you like the DraftKings idea, like any of the information I provided today, make sure you like and subscribe and join the Patreon. You can join for free, and then if you like it, pay for the paid version. It's only $10 a month, and I guarantee if you follow our trades, you're more than likely going to come out better than $10 per month. So enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Have a good one.